Listen carefully, because this isn't about luck, genetics, or looks. The world notices some people the moment they walk in a room, and ignores others, even if they are just as capable. What separates the magnetic from the invisible is positioning, how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you show up, and how you signal value before anyone even says a word. In the next hour, you'll learn the science of first impressions, the psychology of attraction, and the actionable strategies to become unforgettable without changing who you are. You'll discover how to be seen, admired, and remembered from the instant someone lays eyes on you. Chapter 1. Command attention before you speak. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Attention is not given, it's commanded. Yet, when you enter a room, how often are you truly noticed? Most people rely on luck, charisma, or conversation skills alone, hoping someone will see them. That's a trap. Western social psychology, as detailed in Amy Cuddy's Presence, shows that people unconsciously pick up on how you occupy space, your posture, and your micro-behaviors before a single word is spoken. The room reacts to you first, your words come second. Commanding attention isn't about shouting, gesturing wildly, or forcing eye contact. It's about presence, the subtle, disciplined projection of confidence and awareness that tells everyone, without words, I belong here, and you want to notice me. 1. The science of presence. Neuroscience and psychology agree. Humans react instantly to nonverbal cues. According to Dr. Albert Mehrabian, 93% of communication is nonverbal, meaning tone, posture, and micro-expressions speak louder than your words. If you slouch, avoid eye contact, or occupy minimal space, your brain signals irrelevant before anyone even hears you. Contrast that with someone who enters a room upright, shoulders back, and head high. Even if they remain silent, attention gravitates toward them. Think of celebrities on a red carpet, CEOs walking into boardrooms, or performers before the curtain rises. Their presence alone commands the room. Practical takeaway: attention is an energy signal. People notice who is grounded, aware, and fully present. 2. Posture. Occupy more space. One of the simplest yet most overlooked tools to command attention is posture. Small adjustments in stance instantly change how others perceive you. Stand tall. Imagine a string pulling your head toward the ceiling. Shoulders relaxed but back straight. Feet shoulder-width apart. Open your chest. Closed, hunched shoulders signal insecurity. Open shoulders communicate confidence. Space occupancy. Amy Cuddy's research demonstrates that expansive posture, not sprawling, but taking slightly more room than necessary, signals dominance and commands subconscious attention. Repeat mantra while practicing. It's not about demanding attention, it's about owning it. Exercise. Enter a room right now, or even your living space, and consciously expand your stance by 30%. Notice how the body feels. You will feel taller, more grounded, and ready to be noticed. 3. Orientation and movement. The subtle magnetism. Presence is not static. The way you orient your body and move matters profoundly. Face your audience or point of focus. People are naturally drawn toward those who face them squarely. Angled or distracted stances repel attention. Controlled movement. Walk with purpose. Slow, deliberate steps convey confidence. Rushed steps communicate anxiety. Micro-adjustments. Subtle gestures, hand placement, head tilts, and shifts in stance reinforce engagement without seeming forced. Example. Think of an elite actor stepping onto a stage. They rarely overact. They move with controlled rhythm that signals I belong here. That same principle applies in social or professional settings. Attention is a reaction to intentional, disciplined movement. 4. Eye contact. The invisible hook. Eye contact is one of the most powerful tools for commanding attention, but it's often misused. The balance: too little eye contact equals invisible. Too much equals intimidating or aggressive. The ideal is steady, soft, confident gaze, lasting 2 to 3 seconds per person in a group, then moving naturally. Anchor points. When entering a room, make brief contact with 3 different people strategically. It signals awareness and engagement. Micro-expressions. Pair eye contact with subtle, confident micro-expressions, slight smiles, raised eyebrows, or nods, to reinforce connection without words. Celebrities like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson exemplify this. Watch him in interviews. Even in a crowded room, his gaze finds and engages people naturally, establishing subconscious authority. That's presence in action. 5. Energy awareness. Feel the room. Attention is a two-way street. It's not only what you project, it's how you read the energy of the room and adapt. Scan subtly. Notice the rhythm, mood, and energy of the group without being intrusive. Adjust, don't mimic. High-energy rooms benefit from grounded, calm projection. Low-energy rooms respond to gentle, magnetic energy. Mirror unconsciously. Small, natural mirroring of posture or gestures creates subtle resonance, making others unconsciously align with you. Exercise. The next time you enter a space, notice energy. Adjust stance, breathing, and movement to harmonize. Watch attention follow naturally. Repeat mantra. It's not about forcing attention, it's about aligning energy. 6. Verbal anchoring. Speak with presence. While this chapter focuses on nonverbal presence, attention is reinforced when you speak. The key is not volume, but clarity and timing. Pause before speaking. A 1 to 2 second pause after entering a room signals awareness and draws eyes toward you. Start with deliberate words. Even a simple greeting delivered with calm confidence attracts attention. Project, don't shout. Controlled voice projection amplifies presence without needing loudness. In his book Talk Like TED, Carmine Gallo emphasizes that pauses and pacing make messages memorable. They also heighten presence and command attention naturally. 7. Practical exercise. Own the room. Here's a 3-step action plan to command attention before you even say a word. Enter with posture. Stand tall, shoulders back, take slightly more space than usual. Feel grounded, read the room. Adjust energy subtly. Move deliberately. Make brief, confident eye contact with 3 people, anchor attention. Pause for a moment, breathe, then speak deliberately. Don't rush. Let presence precede words. Do this consistently. Every entrance, every interaction, every room becomes an opportunity to reinforce presence. Repeated mantra to embed in memory. It's not about demanding attention, it's about owning it. 8. Real-world example. Consider Steve Jobs walking into Apple product launches. He didn't scream, gesture wildly, or beg for attention. He owned the space, upright stance, controlled movement, calm yet authoritative energy. The room's attention shifted naturally. Every word he spoke was amplified by presence. Or look at Beyoncé performing. Her first step on stage commands eyes instantly, because presence, posture, and energy communicate authority before any lyrics are sung. Attention is a discipline. You can train it, measure it, and refine it. You don't need permission to occupy space. You need strategy. 9. Core lesson. Commanding attention is not about arrogance, loudness, or luck. It's about disciplined presence. Stand tall. Occupy space. Move with purpose. Orient toward your audience. Use eye contact and micro-expressions strategically. Read energy and align naturally. Let presence precede words. Repeat after me. It's not about demanding attention. It's about owning it. Master this, and every entrance becomes an opportunity. Every room becomes a stage. Every interaction becomes magnetic. Chapter 2. The Energy Advantage. Own the room without words. Here's a hard truth most people never realize. Your words matter far less than the energy you carry into a room. You can have the perfect outfit, the sharpest wit, and the most compelling pitch. But if your energy signals uncertainty, hesitation, or chaos, no one will listen. Western psychology, behavioral science, and leadership studies all converge on one point. Energy communicates dominance, confidence, and value long before words do. This chapter is about learning to own the room without speaking a single word. It's about understanding the subtle cues that broadcast authority, trustworthiness, and magnetic presence, and using them strategically to make others sit up and notice you instantly. 1. What energy really is. When we talk about energy, we aren't being mystical. Energy is a combination of movement, rhythm, breathing, and emotional state that radiates outward and impacts the people around you. Neuroscientists describe this as a combination of nonverbal communication, mirror neurons, and physiological signals. People unconsciously pick up on your confidence, anxiety, or calm, and adjust their perception of you in seconds. Think about leaders you admire, Barack Obama, Sheryl Sandberg, or Elon Musk in presentations. Notice how even before they speak, attention gravitates toward them. Calm energy, deliberate movement, and controlled breathing create a subconscious magnetism that draws people in. Practical insight: it's not about loud theatrics, flashy gestures, or over-the-top charisma. It's about grounded, deliberate energy that signals, I belong here, and you want to notice me. 2. The calm advantage versus high energy. Most people think they need to be loud, hyper, or excitable to command attention. That's flawed. Let's compare. High energy approach: jumping, over-talking, exaggerated gestures. It grabs attention quickly but often feels chaotic, desperate, or inconsistent. People notice you, but they may not trust or respect you. Calm, grounded energy, controlled posture, steady pace, mindful gestures, measured speech. It may take slightly longer to draw attention, but it communicates authority, reliability, and confidence, the kind of attention that sticks. Example: Steve Jobs walking on stage. He never yelled, gestured wildly, or bounced around. He radiated calm authority. That energy made every word, every product, every pause feel important. Contrast this with a nervous first-time speaker. High energy can be mistaken for insecurity or desperation. Reinforce mantra: it's not about being loud, it's about being undeniable. 3. Breathing as a tool. Controlled breathing is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to project magnetic energy. Breath regulates your nervous system, posture, and presence. Deep, diaphragmatic breathing signals calm confidence. Slow exhalations reduce tension and project grounded authority. Breath pacing can subtly sync with your movements or gestures, creating a rhythm that draws attention without saying a word. Practical exercise: stand, close your eyes, and take 4 slow breaths. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Repeat 3 times. Open your eyes and notice how your posture and facial expression feel more composed. Repeating this daily rewires your body to naturally project calm energy, even in high-stakes social or professional environments. 4. Movement and rhythm. Your energy is expressed through motion and rhythm. Every step, every hand gesture, every glance contributes to the perception others form about you. Pace of movement: walk deliberately. Rapid steps signal anxiety. Slow, purposeful movement signals control. Micro-gestures. Small, confident hand movements reinforce points without needing words. Posture shifts. Subtle adjustments in stance or orientation keep your presence dynamic, not rigid. Example: Beyoncé stepping onto stage. She doesn't rush. Every step is measured, deliberate, magnetic. The rhythm of her movements keeps the audience's eyes glued, even before she sings. You can replicate this principle in social or professional settings. Project energy that anchors attention naturally. Practical exercise: walk across a room for 1 minute, paying attention to pace, posture, and rhythm. Aim to feel grounded yet dynamic. Repeat mantra: it's not about moving fast, it's about moving with purpose. 5. Grounding techniques. Grounded energy is magnetic because it signals stability. People unconsciously trust those who appear secure and composed. Feet connection. Stand with weight evenly distributed. Feel pressure on your feet. Muscle relaxation. Release tension in shoulders, jaw, and hands. Tension broadcasts anxiety. Relaxation signals calm authority. Mental focus. Center attention on your body and environment simultaneously. Avoid distracted thoughts. Real-world example: Jeff Bezos at investor meetings. Even in high-pressure scenarios, his grounding is visible. Subtle posture, calm breathing, deliberate eye contact. Investors respond to the energy of authority, not just the words spoken. 6. Nonverbal synchrony. Energy is contagious. Mirror neurons make people unconsciously adopt the energy you radiate. High-status individuals often master subtle synchrony without being obvious. Mirroring posture. Slightly echo gestures and stance of others to create subconscious rapport. Energy alignment. Adjust your energy to complement the room's vibe while maintaining authority. Micro-expressions. Calm, confident facial cues reinforce the message of magnetic presence. Exercise. In a small group setting, subtly mirror one person's posture or breathing for 30 seconds. Observe how engagement increases without speaking. Repeat mantra. It's not about forcing connection, it's about radiating it. 7. Practical room dominance exercise. Step 1. Enter a space consciously. Pause briefly to survey the environment. Step 2. Project calm energy. Stand tall, feet grounded, shoulders relaxed, breathe deeply. Step 3. Move with intention. Walk slowly. Anchor eye contact briefly with 2 to 3 individuals. Use small gestures that align with posture. Step 4. Observe reactions. Attention gravitates toward your energy, even before you speak. Repeat this daily in meetings, social events, or even small gatherings. It's not about dominating everyone aggressively. It's about owning presence consistently. 8. Reinforcing the discipline. Energy projection is a repeatable skill, not an innate gift. Daily practices include breathing drills, 4-2-6 pattern, conscious posture adjustment, deliberate pacing, and micro-gestures, environmental awareness and subtle mirroring. Remember, it's not about being loud, it's about being undeniable. Mastering energy ensures that when you do speak, people are already listening. 9. Real-world example. Take Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. Known for his calm yet authoritative energy, Nadella commands attention in boardrooms and conferences without flamboyance or theatrics. His presence, calm voice, controlled movement, grounded posture, signals confidence, credibility, and focus. Employees and investors respond instantly. Compare this to a highly energetic but scattered speaker. Initial attention is grabbed, but trust and influence often lag. Energy mastery ensures both attraction and credibility. 10. Core lesson. Your energy is the invisible language that dictates perception. Calm, grounded energy consistently outperforms frantic high-energy theatrics. Breathing, posture, and deliberate movement anchor attention before a single word is spoken. Mirror subtly, read the room, and project authority consciously. Chapter 3. Posture, gesture, and micro-expression mastery. Here's the reality most people ignore. People don't remember your words. They remember your body. Every micro-movement, every subtle gesture, every tilt of your head communicates far more than the things you say. Western psychology, neuroscience, and studies in social influence all converge on the same principle. Nonverbal communication shapes perception first, before anything else. This chapter is about mastering the invisible signals that create magnetism. It's about learning how posture, gestures, and micro-expressions influence attention, trust, and attraction, so that when you enter a room, you are instantly noticed, respected, and remembered. 1. The power of posture. Posture is not simply about looking tall. It's about signaling confidence, openness, and value. Amy Cuddy's research in presence demonstrates that adopting an expansive, open posture increases testosterone and decreases cortisol, literally making you feel more confident while projecting that confidence to others. Key principles. Open chest and relaxed shoulders. Closed or slouched postures signal insecurity and low energy. Open posture communicates approachability and authority simultaneously. Feet grounded. Stance slightly wider than shoulders. Stability signals strength. Even small shifts in weight distribution communicate presence. Occupying space intentionally. Take up slightly more space than your comfort zone. You're not dominating. You're projecting confidence. Exercise. Stand in front of a mirror. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest slightly, and relax your jaw. Hold for 30 seconds and feel the subtle difference in how you occupy space. Repeat mantra. It's not about what I say, it's about how I show up. 2. Gestures. Speak without words. Gestures amplify presence. They communicate engagement, authority, and personality, often more than verbal content. But flashy or exaggerated gestures can backfire. They may appear forced or insincere. Subtlety is key. Illustrative gestures. Use your hands to punctuate points naturally. Open palms convey honesty and openness. Controlled pacing. Quick, erratic gestures signal anxiety. Smooth, deliberate gestures signal calm authority. Directional gestures. Hands pointing toward objects or people help guide attention without demanding it. Real-world example. Barack Obama's speeches consistently use subtle, precise hand gestures. He never overacts, yet every gesture reinforces authority and relatability. Compare that to a nervous speaker flailing hands. They grab attention for all the wrong reasons. Practical exercise. Record yourself giving a 30-second introduction. Observe hand gestures. Adjust for smoothness and natural alignment. Repeat mantra. It's not about what I say, it's about how I show up. 3. Micro-expressions. The hidden persuaders. Micro-expressions are brief, involuntary facial expressions that reveal genuine emotion. Mastering awareness of your own micro-expressions and moderating them can significantly influence first impressions. Subtle smiles. Even a slight upturn of the lips communicates warmth, approachability, and engagement. Eyebrow lifts. Use sparingly to signal curiosity or interest without overacting. Eye contact. Coupled with micro-expressions, eye contact signals attentiveness, confidence, and trustworthiness. Research by psychologist Paul Ekman shows that micro-expressions are processed subconsciously by observers. People pick up on authenticity even if they aren't consciously aware. A slight smile, relaxed forehead, or controlled brow movement can make the difference between being remembered as magnetic or forgettable. 4. Mirroring, the subconscious connector. Mirroring is an advanced nonverbal technique. Subtle imitation of someone else's posture, gestures, or facial expressions can create subconscious rapport. It's used by salespeople, negotiators, and performers to generate trust and connection instantly. Timing is crucial. Mirror subtly and naturally, never mimic. Overdoing it signals inauthenticity. Posture and energy. If someone leans forward slightly, mirror with a gentle lean. If they relax, mirror with subtle relaxation. Gestural mirroring. Small hand movements or head tilts can increase engagement. Example: Tony Robbins often mirrors audience micro-behaviors during seminars to establish subconscious trust. Attendees feel understood and connected before a word of content is delivered. Practical exercise. In a conversation, identify one natural posture or gesture of the other person and mirror it for 10 to 15 seconds. Observe how engagement changes. Repeat mantra. It's not about what I say, it's about how I show up. 5. Small adjustments versus flashy gestures. Most people overestimate the power of large, flamboyant gestures. The truth: small, deliberate adjustments carry exponentially more influence. A slight lean forward communicates interest. Adjusting stance subtly signals engagement or authority. Micro-expression shifts signal attentiveness or empathy. These small tweaks are perceived subconsciously. Flashy, dramatic gestures might draw initial attention, but they rarely sustain engagement or trust. Think of Leonardo DiCaprio in interviews. Almost minimal gestures, but completely captivating. Presence, not theatrics, commands attention. 6. Recording yourself, the feedback loop. Self-awareness is critical. One of the fastest ways to master posture, gesture, and micro-expressions is recording short interactions. Record 30 to 60-second conversations or introductions. Observe posture, gestures, facial micro-expressions, and eye contact. Identify moments of tension, overgesture, or disengagement. Correct deliberately. Reinforcement principle. Repeated observation and adjustment rewires both muscle memory and social perception. Each rehearsal embeds the discipline necessary to project natural magnetism. Exercise. Practice daily, even in small mirrors or video clips. Repeat mantra. It's not about what I say, it's about how I show up. 7. Real-world examples. Steve Jobs. Minimal gestures, upright posture, subtle micro-expressions. The room hung on his presence before a single word. Oprah Winfrey. Open posture, controlled hand gestures, slight smiles, and consistent eye contact create trust and warmth simultaneously. Keanu Reeves. Natural, understated gestures and relaxed posture make him magnetic and approachable without trying. The lesson: microdiscipline in nonverbal communication compounds influence over time. The combination of posture, gestures, and microexpressions creates a silent authority that draws attention and builds rapport automatically. 8. Practical exercise. 5-minute daily drill. Stand tall, shoulders back, chest open. Record a 30-second greeting or introduction. Watch for posture, gestures, micro-expressions, and eye contact. Adjust and re-record until gestures feel natural and expressive, not exaggerated. Repeat mantra. It's not about what I say, it's about how I show up. Over time, your body will project confidence, authority, and magnetic presence automatically. 9. Core lesson. Posture, gestures, and micro-expressions are the invisible language of magnetism. Words alone are insufficient. People respond to what they see, feel, and unconsciously perceive. Stand tall. Occupy space intentionally. Gesture subtly, deliberately, and in alignment with posture. Use micro-expressions to signal warmth, curiosity, and authenticity. Mirror strategically to build subconscious rapport. Repeated mantra. It's not about what I say, it's about how I show up. Master this, and attention, trust, and attraction follow. Chapter 4. Dress for Desire. Curate your magnetic image. Here's a truth most people overlook. Your clothes speak before you do. Every outfit, every accessory, every detail is a nonverbal message broadcasting your value, confidence, and social position. Western psychology, fashion psychology, and social influence studies all show that people form first impressions in as little as 7 seconds, and a significant portion of that impression is determined by visual cues, your clothing, grooming, and overall style. This chapter is about curating your magnetic image intentionally. It's about using clothing, color, and fit as tools to enhance your presence, signal value, and create attraction. When done correctly, your appearance becomes a silent amplifier of your charisma. 1. Clothing as nonverbal communication. Clothing isn't just fabric, it's a language. It communicates. Status, tailored fits, clean lines, and quality materials signal competence and authority, personality. Color choices, patterns, and textures convey mood, energy, and approachability. Intent. Dressing deliberately tells people you value yourself and the interaction. Research published in Social Psychological and Personality Science found that participants dressed in professional, well-fitted clothing were perceived as more confident, capable, and persuasive than those in casual attire, even if they had the same qualifications. Practical insight. It's not about wearing designer brands. It's about signal clarity. Clothes must communicate confidence, competence, and approachability without shouting or overcomplicating. 2. Fit over flash. One of the biggest mistakes people make. Thinking flashy or expensive clothes automatically convey magnetism. They don't. Fit trumps fashion every time. Tailoring is king. A $50 shirt that fits perfectly is far more impactful than a $500 designer shirt that doesn't. Proportion matters. Clothes should align with your body structure. Avoid overly tight or baggy items. Comfort signals ease. If you feel restricted or awkward, it shows. Confidence is undermined instantly. Example. Ryan Reynolds consistently projects charm because he dresses with impeccable fit and simple elegance, not flashy trends. He communicates relaxed confidence, which is far more magnetic than ostentation. Exercise. Identify one shirt, jacket, or pair of pants that fits perfectly. Wear it this week and observe the difference in how people respond. Repeat mantra. It's not about fashion, it's about perception. 3. Color psychology. Color is one of the most underutilized tools in nonverbal attraction. Different colors trigger subconscious associations in others. Red, energy, power, dominance. Used for accents or special occasions. Blue, calm, trustworthy, approachable. Ideal for meetings or first impressions. Black, authority, sophistication, timeless appeal. Great for evening events or confident statements. White, light tones. Cleanliness, clarity, and openness. Signals transparency and approachability. Real-world example. Jeff Bezos frequently wears dark suits and subtle tones in public appearances. The choice reinforces authority and reliability while remaining understated. Meanwhile, influencers like Chris Hemsworth mix color accents with neutral bases, signaling confidence without aggression. Practical tip. Audit your wardrobe and assign colors strategically depending on the impression you want to make. Repeat mantra. It's not about fashion, it's about perception. 4. Grooming and small details. Your wardrobe is only part of the signal. Grooming, accessories, and finishing touches amplify your magnetism. Hair and facial grooming. Clean, well-maintained hair communicates attention to detail. A slight trim or touch-up can shift perception instantly. Shoes and accessories. Polished shoes, a quality watch, or subtle jewelry sends messages of care and style without being showy. Fragrance. A subtle, clean scent can enhance presence subconsciously. Overpowering perfumes, however, backfire. Example: Meghan Markle's polished but understated style signals elegance and approachability. Every element, from tailored dresses to minimal accessories, conveys intentionality, confidence, and relatability simultaneously. Exercise. Audit your grooming routine for 1 week. Note any reactions when you improve hair, nails, or accessories. Repeat mantra. It's not about fashion, it's about perception. 5. Casual versus intentional dressing. Most people default to casual or reactive clothing, jeans, t-shirts, or whatever is convenient. Here's the key. Intentional dressing communicates discipline and value. Casual without intent suggests comfort over presence. People subconsciously perceive lower status or care. Intentional simplicity. Even a basic outfit can be magnetic if it's clean, well-fitted, and purposeful. Every outfit is a statement. Decide before you leave the house how you want to be perceived, and dress to reinforce that. Real-world example. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson frequently wears simple, fitted casual wear but combines it with posture, grooming, and confident energy. The result? Even casual outfits command attention and respect. 6. Wardrobe audit exercise. Step 1. Go through your current wardrobe. Identify the pieces that make you feel confident instantly, communicate authority or sophistication, enhance approachability or warmth. Step 2. Identify at least 3 pieces that can be upgraded, tailored, or accentuated to signal higher value. Step 3. Commit to wearing one of these magnetic items daily for a week. Observe the response. Exercise reinforcement. Repeat mantra. It's not about fashion, it's about perception. 7. Layering and texture. Layering adds depth and sophistication without needing flashy brands. Jackets, cardigans, or scarves subtly change perception, adding interest and authority. Texture matters. Smooth materials, cotton, wool, communicate elegance. Rough or worn textures communicate casualness or neglect. Practical tip. Mix textures and layers subtly to highlight professionalism, approachability, or creativity depending on the social context. Example: Mark Zuckerberg intentionally wears simple layers, grey t-shirts, hoodies, but combines them with posture, energy, and subtle grooming to maintain magnetic authority. Even minimalism can project value when curated intentionally. 8. Real-world example. Leonardo DiCaprio at film premieres. Minimalist but tailored suits. Every detail communicates status, approachability, and confidence. Rihanna. Color, texture, and fit communicate boldness and magnetism. Intentionality is key. Everything is designed to make an impression. Barack Obama in casual events. Even casual wear is fitted, clean, and intentional. No sloppy clothes allowed. Lesson. Magnetism is amplified by intentional choices, not brand names or flashiness. 9. Practical takeaways. Clothing is a nonverbal language that broadcasts value before you speak. Fit, color, and texture communicate confidence, authority, and approachability. Grooming and small details amplify perception. Intentional choices outweigh casual defaults. Repeat mantra daily. It's not about fashion, it's about perception. Master this, and you'll signal value and magnetism effortlessly, giving every interaction a first impression advantage. Chapter 5. The voice that draws people in. Here's a fact most people completely underestimate. People don't just listen with their ears. They feel with their ears. Your voice is far more than a delivery mechanism for words. It communicates confidence, authority, energy, and magnetism. In fact, research in social psychology shows that vocal tone, pitch, and pacing influence perceptions of competence, trustworthiness, and attraction more than the actual words spoken. This chapter is about turning your voice into a tool of magnetism. It's about speaking with authority, warmth, and presence, so that when you open your mouth, people not only hear you, they are drawn in. 1. Tonality, depth and warmth. The first and most important element of a magnetic voice is tonality. Lower pitch signals authority. Studies in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior show that deeper voices are perceived as more dominant, competent, and confident. This doesn't mean pretending to have a voice you don't. It's about projecting your natural depth with intention. Warmth communicates approachability. A voice that is warm and inviting creates trust and comfort. People are subconsciously drawn to voices that feel safe yet confident. Resonance over volume. You don't need to yell to be heard. Resonant projection carries naturally, communicates self-assurance, and engages listeners without strain. Practical tip. Stand in front of a mirror and speak a single sentence slowly, feeling the resonance in your chest rather than your throat. Repeat mantra. It's not about talking more, it's about speaking powerfully. 2. Pace. Control the rhythm of attention. Pacing is the secret weapon of magnetic speakers. Most people either speak too quickly when nervous or too slowly when unsure. Both extremes undermine influence. Moderate speed. A deliberate pace signals calm authority and control. Pauses as power. Strategic pauses emphasize key points and give listeners time to absorb your message. Think of every pause as a spotlight on your words. Avoid filler words. Like, these dilute impact. Pauses are far more powerful than fillers. Example. Simon Sinek uses deliberate pacing in his talks. He pauses after key phrases, allowing the audience to process and internalize his message. The result? Listeners lean in, absorb, and remember. Exercise. Take a 60-second statement and practice delivering it with one deliberate pause after each key point. Notice how your voice naturally gains authority and draw. Repeat mantra. It's not about talking more, it's about speaking powerfully. 3. Volume and projection. Volume is often misunderstood. Loudness does not equal influence. True vocal magnetism comes from projection and controlled volume. Speak to the farthest listener in the room. Even in small groups, imagine your words reaching the back. It naturally aligns posture, breath, and resonance. Avoid straining. Projection is not shouting. It's chest resonance and forward energy. Dynamic volume. Varying intensity on key points emphasizes importance and keeps listeners engaged. Real-world example. Morgan Freeman's iconic narration demonstrates the power of controlled volume and resonance. He never raises his voice unnecessarily, yet every word draws attention and respect. Practical exercise. Read aloud for 60 seconds, varying volume for emphasis and resonance. Repeat mantra. It's not about talking more, it's about speaking powerfully. 4. Breath control. The invisible engine. Your voice is powered by breath. Without proper breath control, even the most important message loses impact. Diaphragmatic breathing. Breathe from your diaphragm, not shallow chest breaths. This creates steadiness and resonance. Control exhalation. Slow, controlled exhalation ensures words are delivered with authority and calmness. Linked to pacing and pauses. Breath becomes the anchor for rhythm. Every pause feels natural, every phrase confident. Exercise. Take a deep diaphragmatic breath, then speak a single sentence on the exhale. Gradually extend sentences while maintaining control. Repeat mantra. It's not about talking more, it's about speaking powerfully. 5. Emphasis and inflection. Monotone speech is a confidence killer. Emphasis and inflection convey emotion, attention, and engagement. Stress key words. Make the most important word in each sentence slightly louder, deeper, or elongated, rising and falling pitch. Rising tones signal curiosity and engagement. Falling tones communicate authority and finality, highlight contrast. Alternate tempo, volume, and pitch to emphasize contrasts and keep listeners attentive. Example. Oprah Winfrey modulates tone, pitch, and pace masterfully. She draws people in not because of the content alone, but because of how she delivers it. Every sentence has weight and rhythm. Exercise. Record yourself reading a paragraph, then replay to identify monotone sections. Rework with emphasis and inflection, noting the change in perceived authority. Repeat mantra. It's not about talking more, it's about speaking powerfully. 6. Authenticity over performance. It's easy to fall into the trap of overcoaching your voice. True vocal magnetism is authenticity amplified by discipline. Don't mimic. Trying to sound like a famous speaker backfires. Instead, optimize your natural tone. Consistency matters. Practice daily to embed control into your natural speech patterns. Align voice with energy. Your vocal presence should match posture, gestures, and overall energy to create a coherent, magnetic persona. Example. Keanu Reeves speaks softly but deliberately. His calm, authentic delivery communicates confidence and magnetism without aggression or pretense. Authenticity makes voice relatable yet authoritative. 7. Practical exercise. 60-second drill. Stand tall with shoulders back, open chest, and relaxed jaw. Take a deep diaphragmatic breath. Speak for 60 seconds on a familiar topic, emphasizing key words, using pauses, and modulating pitch. Replay and self-evaluate for tone, pace, volume, and resonance. Repeat daily until the delivery feels natural and magnetic. Exercise reinforcement. Repeat mantra aloud. It's not about talking more, it's about speaking powerfully. 8. Real-world examples. Morgan Freeman. Deep, resonant tone, slow deliberate pacing, perfectly modulated inflection. Every word commands attention. Barack Obama. Calm, controlled, authoritative tone with subtle inflection. Pauses create impact and allow ideas to land. Emma Watson. Gentle, warm, and clear tone communicates intelligence and approachability simultaneously. The lesson: voice is an invisible extension of presence. When combined with posture, gestures, and micro-expression mastery from previous chapters, your vocal presence creates a holistic magnetic persona. 9. Core lesson. Tonality conveys authority and warmth. Pace and pauses control engagement and attention. Volume and projection communicate confidence. Breath anchors rhythm and resonance. Emphasis and inflection highlight key ideas. Authenticity ensures magnetism is sustainable. Repeated mantra. It's not about talking more, it's about speaking powerfully. Master this, and your voice becomes a silent tool of attraction, influence, and presence. Chapter 6. Social Proof and the Hidden Power of Influence. Here's a truth many people underestimate. People don't just judge who you are, they judge who others think you are. This is the invisible force of social proof. Across cultures, studies in psychology and behavioral economics, from Robert Cialdini's influence to the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, show that humans rely on cues from others to determine value, trustworthiness, and attractiveness. In short, we are hardwired to follow the lead of those deemed credible or connected. For anyone looking to become magnetic, popular, and memorable, mastering social proof is not optional, it's essential. Social proof is the bridge between being noticed and being respected, liked, and trusted. 1. Understanding social proof. Social proof is the psychological phenomenon where people copy the actions of others in an attempt to reflect correct behavior. In the context of attraction and influence, it manifests in several ways. Authority, credentials, awards, or visible achievements signal competence, popularity. Being seen with respected, admired, or influential people conveys status by association. Testimonials and endorsements. Hearing praise from others validates your value without you needing to claim it yourself. Example: in a study conducted by psychologist Solomon Asch, participants were heavily influenced by the opinions of a group even when the group's answer was obviously wrong. The lesson is clear. Humans trust the collective more than the isolated individual. Practical takeaway: it's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about strategically displaying the signals that indicate you are valued, credible, and worth attention. 2. Authority amplifies attraction. Western psychology heavily favors authority in evaluating competence and attractiveness. The same principle works in social situations. People are drawn to individuals who appear capable, accomplished, or endorsed by credible entities. Visible achievements, awards, certificates, or even well-framed professional milestones on social media or in conversation establish credibility. Published work, articles, blog posts, or videos showing your expertise amplify perception of value. Influencer association. Being seen collaborating or connected with credible figures enhances your magnetic pull. Real-world example: Elon Musk doesn't have to try to be credible in tech circles. His association with Tesla, SpaceX, and even the company's public achievements creates authority automatically. People listen before he speaks because the proof is already visible. Exercise. Make a list of 3 small achievements, connections, or endorsements that you can casually reference in conversation or on your profile. Repeat mantra. It's not about boasting, it's about demonstrating value. 3. Relatability multiplies influence. While authority attracts respect, relatability generates connection. The most magnetic individuals balance credibility with approachability. Share small wins subtly. You don't need to dominate a conversation. Mention outcomes as matter of fact, not bragging. Highlight common connections. Mutual friends, shared experiences, or collaborative projects create trust. Signal vulnerability strategically. Showing moments of learning, growth, or challenge humanizes authority, making influence more palatable. Example: Michelle Obama often references relatable personal stories while highlighting her achievements. The result? She's simultaneously respected, admired, and approachable. This duality is what makes influence sustainable. Practical tip: when talking about accomplishments, frame them in context. I recently helped a team launch a small project that solved X problem. It was a great learning experience. Subtle, yet signals both competence and relatability. 4. Comparative influence, with versus. Without social proof. Consider this. Person A walks into a room, quietly accomplished but with no visible signals of validation. Person B walks in, same skill level, but carrying references, testimonials, or visible affiliations with respected figures. Even without words, Person B automatically commands more attention, trust, and respect. This is the multiplier effect of social proof. Studies by Robert Cialdini demonstrate that people assume the actions of credible others are correct, safe, and valuable. Practical exercise. Observe interactions in your environment. Identify someone who commands attention effortlessly. Chances are, they are leveraging social proof in subtle ways. Reflect on how you can adapt their approach ethically. Repeat mantra. It's not about boasting, it's about demonstrating value. 5. Microsocial proof in everyday interactions. You don't need a LinkedIn award or viral post to use social proof. Small, deliberate cues in everyday life create magnetism. Reference collaborators or mentors. I discussed this idea with my colleague, who specializes in X. Mention prior outcomes or results. Last month, I helped someone solve Y problem. Subtle accolades. Display a certificate, badge, or mention of a past role in casual conversation or professional settings. Real-world example. Consider how tech professionals on platforms like GitHub or Behance showcase small contributions, collaborations, and endorsements. Even if modest, these signals attract attention and credibility. 6. Online social proof. Curate your digital magnetism. In today's world, online presence is often the first impression. Leverage digital social proof carefully. Profiles and portfolios. Highlight recommendations, testimonials, or past client results. Public associations. Being part of recognized groups, communities, or teams signals credibility. Content engagement. Posts with likes, comments, and shares act as passive social proof. Others perceive you as valued and trusted. Practical tip: audit your social profiles. Ensure your small wins, connections, and endorsements are visible without appearing boastful. Repeat mantra. It's not about boasting, it's about demonstrating value. 7. Influence through presence. Social proof doesn't just work on paper, it works in person. People respond unconsciously to signals of validation. Nonverbal cues. Let others reference you subtly or ask about your work. People will notice the respect you command. Group positioning. Stand near credible figures in gatherings. Proximity signals association. Behavioral demonstration. Be consistent and reliable. Small actions of competence reinforce social proof. Example. In networking events, someone who is seen being approached by multiple people naturally gains further attention. This is social proof in real time. 8. Ethical use of social proof. Magnetism and influence require subtlety. Social proof is not about exaggeration or deception. Only display achievements you genuinely earned. Give credit to collaborators. Shared credit multiplies influence. Avoid dominating conversation with "look at me" statements. Subtlety signals confidence. Practical reminder. True influence is demonstrated value, not claimed value. When used correctly, social proof multiplies attraction, trust, and likability without artificiality. Repeat mantra. It's not about boasting, it's about demonstrating value. 9. Core lesson. Authority, achievements, and affiliations amplify magnetic presence. Relatability ensures influence is approachable, not intimidating. Even small, subtle demonstrations of social proof create disproportionate impact. Strategic, ethical use of social proof multiplies attraction and credibility. Repeated mantra. It's not about boasting, It's about demonstrating value. Chapter 7. The Psychology of First Impressions. What really matters. Here's a truth most people ignore. First impressions are not just important. They are decisive. Research in psychology and social cognition shows that humans form judgments in as little as 7 seconds. That's right. Under 10 seconds, a stranger has already decided how attractive, competent, and trustworthy you appear. Malcolm Gladwell popularized this in Blink, noting that people often make accurate, or at least strongly anchored, decisions almost instantly. This is the harsh reality. If you fail to command presence in those first few moments, your chances of influence, attraction, and credibility drop dramatically. But here's the upside. You can control these first impressions deliberately, consistently, and scientifically. This chapter is about mastering the psychology behind it so that when you enter a room, people notice, respect, and remember you immediately. 1. Symmetry, facial recognition, and subconscious cues. Humans are wired to notice patterns, especially symmetry. It's not just about beauty. It's about perceived health, balance, and stability. Facial symmetry signals genetic fitness, health, and confidence on a subconscious level. Minor adjustments like good grooming, posture, and even facial expressions can enhance perceived symmetry. Eye alignment and smiles. Micro-expressions are processed unconsciously. A slight, confident smile combined with relaxed eyes conveys warmth and confidence simultaneously. Consistency of energy. A face that matches your body language communicates authenticity. Humans are quick to spot mismatches. Inconsistency lowers trust. Real-world example. Psychologists studying first impressions of political candidates found that subtle micro-adjustments to posture and expression significantly altered perceived competence and trustworthiness, even before a word was spoken. Practical exercise. Stand in front of a mirror, practice a neutral, confident expression, add a slight, natural smile, and check alignment of shoulders and head. Repeat mantra. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. 2. Energy consistency. Calm, controlled, magnetic. Your energy, what psychologists call arousal levels and emotional tone, speaks louder than your words in initial interactions. High-energy extremes can feel anxious or aggressive. Overexuberance pushes people away. Low-energy extremes can feel unconfident or unengaging. Understated energy fails to capture attention. The ideal, calm, grounded, and consistent energy that conveys both confidence and openness. Example. Oprah Winfrey demonstrates this masterfully. In her interviews, her energy is steady, consistent, and warm. Guests feel drawn in immediately because her emotional tone is reliable. In contrast, nervous or erratic energy in new acquaintances can signal unpredictability, instantly lowering perceived trust. Exercise. Enter a room, take 3 slow, deep diaphragmatic breaths, and consciously project calm energy. Observe how others respond. Repeat mantra. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. 3. Posture and spatial awareness. Science confirms, your body communicates before your mouth opens. Amy Cuddy's research on power posing demonstrates that upright, open, and expansive postures not only make you appear more confident but change how others perceive you in seconds. Occupy space deliberately. Don't shrink into yourself. Shoulders back, chest open, head level. Micro movements. Avoid fidgeting. Subtle gestures like purposeful hand movements signal clarity and control. Angle and orientation. Face people directly. Slightly angled shoulders create approachable yet dominant signals. Practical tip. Before entering a social setting, take 5 seconds to reset posture. Walk in slowly, shoulders relaxed but confident, maintaining a natural rhythm. Repeat mantra. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. 4. Voice and first impressions. Building on previous chapters, your voice is the invisible handshake. Even in the first 30 seconds, tone, volume, and pace are evaluated subconsciously. Deep, resonant tone signals authority and calmness. Controlled pacing conveys confidence. Rushed speech signals nervousness. Pauses and inflection demonstrate thoughtfulness and engagement. Real-world example. TED Talk speakers who start with a slow, deliberate, and well-modulated sentence immediately capture attention. Compare a monotone rapid speaker to one who controls pitch, tone, and rhythm. The latter is far more persuasive and memorable. Exercise. Practice a 30-second introduction with a friend or in front of a mirror. Focus on energy, posture, voice, and facial alignment simultaneously. Repeat mantra. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. 5. Mirroring subtle social cues. Once you establish presence, mirroring the other person's energy subtly creates rapport unconsciously. Match tone and pace slightly without copying. Align gestures or posture in a natural, respectful way. Avoid exaggerated mimicry. Subtlety is key. Example. Research from the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior shows that people are more likely to like and trust those who unconsciously mirror their body language. Successful negotiators, interviewers, and charismatic speakers all leverage this tactic instinctively. Exercise. During your 30-second introduction, note the other person's posture and energy. Adjust slightly to create a subtle connection. Repeat mantra. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. 6. The 30-second rule. Studies show that first impressions solidify within 30 seconds. Your initial handshake, eye contact, posture, energy, and vocal tone collectively create the perception that persists throughout the interaction. Start strong. In those first 3 to 5 seconds, establish posture, eye contact, and voice authority. Maintain consistency. Energy, gestures, and tone must align with initial impression. Reset if needed. A momentary lapse can be corrected by a confident breath and recalibrated presence. Practical exercise. Craft a 30-second personal introduction incorporating posture, energy, and vocal control. Record yourself, evaluate, and refine until confident. Repeat mantra. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. 7. Real-world examples. Barack Obama. First 30 seconds in debates or speeches. Calm posture, measured tone, slight smile. Projects authority and warmth. Emma Watson. First impression in interviews combines eye contact, posture, and voice inflection, creating instant credibility and charm. Richard Branson. Walks into rooms projecting confidence through posture and energy. People notice before he speaks. The lesson. First impressions are multidimensional, combining face, body, energy, and voice. Mastering them is not about being flawless. It's about projecting magnetic presence deliberately and consistently. 8. Core lesson. People form judgments within seconds. First impressions stick. Symmetry, energy consistency, posture, and voice are primary triggers. Subtle social cues like mirroring reinforce rapport and trust. Practice deliberate 30-second introductions to embed confident, magnetic presence. Repeated mantra. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. Master this, and every new interaction becomes an opportunity to influence, attract, and be remembered. Chapter 8. Flirt without trying. Subtle signals that captivate. Here's a hard truth that most people miss. Flirting isn't about lines, gestures, or overt displays. It's about subtle signals that communicate value, availability, and intrigue. Real attraction doesn't come from over-efforting or trying too hard. It comes from the ability to signal interest while maintaining presence and self-worth. The people who seem effortlessly magnetic aren't working at it. They've mastered the physics of subtlety. Flirting is a language of cues, not words. Micro-smiles, eye contact, slight gestures, and timing communicate more than any rehearsed phrase ever could. When done correctly, subtle signals create curiosity, interest, and long-term attraction without appearing desperate or overbearing. This chapter is your playbook for captivating without chasing. 1. Microsignals, the invisible language of interest. Humans are wired to detect subtle social signals at an unconscious level. Researchers in nonverbal behavior, including Paul Ekman and Desmond Morris, highlight that micro-expressions and gestures convey attraction and attention before any words are spoken. Micro-smiles. A quick, genuine smile lasting less than a second signals warmth and interest. Too long or forced, and it appears inauthentic. Subtle gestures. Light, purposeful hand movements, small tilts of the head, or a shoulder orientation towards someone signals engagement, timing and rhythm. Pausing slightly before responding or leaning in during conversation can communicate attentiveness and value. Real-world example. Celebrities like Ryan Gosling or Zendaya often display microsignals that suggest openness and curiosity. Fans report feeling drawn even when there's no overt interaction. The cues are subtle but powerful. Practical exercise. Stand in front of a mirror or record a short conversation. Note how small smiles, tilts, and gestures make your interactions feel warmer. Repeat mantra. It's not about chasing. It's about signaling availability with value. 2. The power of subtlety. Most people mistake attraction for attention. They try to dominate, impress, or over-communicate. This is the flaw. The discipline is subtlety. Overt signals, loud compliments, constant eye contact, or exaggerated gestures often repel. They scream neediness rather than value. Subtle signals. A light touch on the arm during a laugh, a brief glance held just a moment longer than normal, a well-timed smile. All create intrigue and curiosity. Curiosity drives attraction. Subtlety leaves people wanting more. Overt actions leave nothing for imagination. Example. In a study on interpersonal attraction by Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, participants rated subtle expressions of interest higher than obvious gestures. The brain unconsciously rewards mystery and measured engagement. Practical exercise. During a conversation, replace one exaggerated compliment with a subtle gesture or micro-smile. Observe the difference in response. Repeat mantra. It's not about chasing. It's about signaling availability with value. 3. Mirroring. Connection without words. Mirroring is one of the most powerful nonverbal tools for attraction. When done subtly, it communicates alignment, empathy, and shared rhythm. Match posture and energy without copying. Lean slightly when they lean. Adjust gestures to similar speed. Reflect emotional tone. Smile when they smile. Nod subtly to affirm their points. Avoid overdoing. Exaggerated mimicry breaks authenticity. Real-world example. Top negotiators, actors, and influencers all mirror subtly to create rapport. The same principle applies in attraction. Subtle mirroring signals attention and alignment, making others feel understood and connected. Exercise. In your next interaction, note the other person's posture and energy. Mirror subtly for 30 seconds at a time. Repeat mantra. It's not about chasing. It's about signaling availability with value. 4. Attentive listening as a magnet. One of the most underrated forms of flirting is deep listening. People are drawn to those who make them feel seen and heard. Maintain eye contact without staring aggressively. Nod or react to emotional cues. Ask follow-up questions that demonstrate curiosity, not interrogation. Avoid interrupting. Let pauses breathe space for the other person to feel your attention. Example. Ariana Huffington often notes in interviews that her magnetic presence stems less from talking and more from listening. Attention communicates value and respect, making subtle signals more potent. Practical tip. During your next conversation, consciously practice active listening for 60 seconds without speaking unless prompted. Combine with slight mirroring and micro-smiles. Repeat mantra. It's not about chasing. It's about signaling availability with value. 5. Controlled eye contact. The magnetic lock. Eye contact is the gateway to connection, but overdoing it is a classic error. Studies by social psychologists reveal optimal attraction occurs when eye contact is held 3 to 7 seconds, then released, then re-established. Short glances signal curiosity and intrigue. Sustained moments build intimacy, but only in controlled bursts. Look for alignment. Let eye contact synchronize with micro-expressions and body orientation. Example. James Bond, as portrayed by Daniel Craig, never stays aggressively. He maintains controlled, confident eye contact that signals interest without neediness. Practical exercise. In a casual conversation, practice holding eye contact for 4 seconds. Release, then re-engage. Combine with a micro-smile. Repeat mantra. It's not about chasing. It's about signaling availability with value. 6. Strategic touch. Tiny, natural, powerful. Touch is a magnet, but only when subtle and context appropriate. Misused, it backfires. A light tap on the shoulder, guiding gesture, or incidental hand touch during laughter creates connection and chemistry. Timing matters. Align touch with shared humor, agreement, or light physical context. Frequency. Rare and meaningful beats constant contact. Less is more. Real-world example. Charismatic leaders and actors often deploy tiny touches to reinforce rapport or engagement. Subtlety is the key. The slightest brush creates a memory without discomfort. Practical exercise. During natural interaction, use one light, appropriate touch in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Observe response carefully. Repeat mantra. It's not about chasing, it's about signaling availability with value. 7. Core lesson. Flirting is subtle, not loud. It's about signals, not statements. Micro-expressions, gestures, and timing communicate availability, confidence, and intrigue. Mirroring, attentive listening, eye contact, and controlled touch amplify connection naturally. The discipline. Signal interest with value without chasing. Repeated mantra. It's not about chasing, it's about signaling availability with value. Master this, and your presence becomes magnetic. People will be drawn to you without effort, curiosity will build, and long-term attraction will form naturally. Chapter 9. Reframe your story. Position yourself as irresistible. Here's a truth that most people overlook. You are not just what you do or how you look. You are the story you tell about yourself. Every first impression, every glance, every moment someone meets you is filtered through the narrative you project. If your story is unclear, timid, or self-deprecating, people will unconsciously undervalue you. If your story is framed with confidence, uniqueness, and social intelligence, you become magnetic before a word is even exchanged. Reframing your story is not about lying. It's about choosing the lens through which others see you. It's about emphasizing qualities that convey value, presence, and desirability. This chapter is your step-by-step guide to positioning yourself as irresistible through narrative and self-framing. 1. The power of narrative. Your story defines perception. Social psychologists and branding experts agree. Humans are wired to respond to cohesive narratives more than isolated traits. Storytelling activates empathy, trust, and interest. Uniqueness sells. Highlight what sets you apart in subtle, relatable ways. Your hobbies, experiences, or worldview can become magnetic when framed correctly. Confidence signals value. People instinctively gravitate toward those who own their story. Confidence tells the brain, this person is worth noticing. Social intelligence matters. Storytelling that demonstrates awareness of others' perspectives, humor, and emotional cues communicates competence and charm. Real-world example. Oprah Winfrey built her brand on her story, her background, struggles, and triumphs. The narrative was relatable, aspirational, and magnetic. Her presence commanded attention, not because she shouted, but because her story was framed with authority, empathy, and confidence. Exercise. Write down 3 experiences that showcase uniqueness. Think beyond jobs or titles. Focus on personal anecdotes that highlight resilience, insight, or perspective. Repeat mantra. It's not about changing who I am, it's about how I show it. 2. Confidence versus modesty. Most people undervalue themselves in conversation. The flaw is modesty misapplied. The discipline is strategic confidence. Self-deprecating framing can undermine perceived value. Saying, I'm just a designer or I'm not very experienced lowers your status before anyone knows you. Confident framing positions the same facts with authority. I design digital experiences that help businesses connect with their customers. Language patterns matter. Active verbs, clear outcomes, and energetic tone amplify perceived capability. Example. Research in personality and social psychology review shows that people who present achievements confidently are judged as more competent, trustworthy, and likable than those who downplay them, even when both groups have identical accomplishments. Practical exercise. Take one skill, experience, or achievement. Write 2 versions, one modest, one confident. Read them aloud. Notice how the confident version naturally draws attention. Repeat mantra. It's not about changing who I am, it's about how I show it. 3. The 30-second magnetic introduction. Your introduction is your narrative compressed into 30 seconds, a first impression accelerant. Done right, it positions you as confident, unique, and intriguing. Step-by-step framework. Hook with uniqueness. Begin with something unexpected or distinctive. Example. I help small businesses turn social media into a 24/7 sales machine. Add credibility. Briefly include relevant experience, achievements, or outcomes. Example. Over the last 2 years, I've helped clients generate over $500,000 in online revenue. Invite engagement. End with a question, insight, or playful comment that signals social intelligence. Example: I love figuring out which content actually converts. What's the trickiest part of your strategy? Real-world example: networking experts consistently highlight that high performers at events use this exact format. The audience instantly perceives value, confidence, and curiosity, even before deeper conversation begins. Exercise. Draft your 30-second magnetic introduction. Practice it until it feels natural, not rehearsed. Deliver it in front of a mirror, recording yourself if possible. Pay attention to tone, pauses, and posture. Repeat mantra. It's not about changing who I am, it's about how I show it. 4. Framing achievements subtly. Too many people either oversell or undersell themselves. The trick is framing achievements subtly but memorably. Use metrics sparingly but strategically. Numbers and outcomes create credibility. Example: I've helped 15 clients launch products that exceeded their first-month goals. Tell mini stories rather than list accomplishments. Example: one client struggled with engagement. Together, we revamped their strategy, and in 3 weeks, their posts doubled in reach. Let others discover value through interaction. Avoid constant self-promotion. The most magnetic individuals show, don't tell. Example: Elon Musk doesn't loudly advertise SpaceX successes in casual conversation. Yet when he talks about Mars or rockets, the story of achievement speaks louder than words, generating fascination and attention. Exercise. Rewrite 3 of your personal or professional achievements using a subtle story format with clear outcomes. Practice telling them in casual conversation. Repeat mantra. It's not about changing who I am, it's about how I show it. 5. Social intelligence in storytelling. Magnetism is not just what you say, it's how you read the room. Social intelligence ensures your narrative lands effectively. Observe cues, energy, facial expressions, and engagement indicate how your story is received. Adjust accordingly without overthinking. Balance listening with talking. Integrate anecdotes naturally into conversation. Don't dominate. Mirror emotional tone. Subtle alignment with the listener increases resonance. Example: top performers like Barack Obama and Richard Branson demonstrate mastery of social storytelling. They adjust their tone, pacing, and focus based on audience feedback, creating magnetic appeal that feels effortless. Exercise. In your next conversation, practice telling a short personal story while monitoring listener engagement. Adjust micro-expressions, gestures, and tone in real time. Repeat mantra. It's not about changing who I am, it's about how I show it. 6. Core lesson. Your story is your superpower. Personal narrative defines first impressions and long-term attraction. Confidence sells faster than modesty. Subtle. Strategic framing amplifies perceived value. Magnetic introductions and social storytelling create curiosity, trust, and connection. Repeated mantra. It's not about changing who I am, it's about how I show it. Master this, and people will perceive you as irresistible, intriguing, and high value, before a single flirtatious gesture or word is exchanged. Chapter 10. Become unforgettable. Consistency, confidence, and presence. Here's the hard truth. First impressions fade, but lasting impressions stick. You can command attention in a room, dazzle people for a few minutes, but if you don't reinforce your presence consistently, your magnetism is transient. True attraction, the kind that makes people remember you, talk about you, and want to be around you, is built on repeated, deliberate actions. This final chapter is about how to transform your new skills into a permanent force of presence. It's not just posture, tone, or story. It's the daily discipline of consistency, confidence, and energy. If you master this, you don't just leave impressions, you become unforgettable. 1. The science of consistency. Psychologists and neuroscientists agree. The brain encodes repeated exposure as familiarity and trust. Mere exposure effect, a principle proven in social psychology, explains why people prefer stimuli they encounter consistently. Magnetism works the same way. Flaw. Relying on one-off charm or sporadic displays of charisma. Discipline. Creating repeated moments of presence that reinforce your perceived value. Real-world examples. Think of public figures like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or Beyoncé. They are not memorable because of a single performance. They are unforgettable because every appearance, interview, and public interaction aligns with the image they want to project: confidence, energy, and authenticity. Exercise. Identify 3 micro-behaviors: eye contact, posture, vocal tone, that define your personal magnetism. Commit to practicing them in every social interaction this week. Repeat mantra. It's not about one perfect moment. It's about constant magnetism. 2. Confidence as a habit. Confidence is not a switch. It's a muscle you build through habitual action. Most people misunderstand confidence. They wait to feel it instead of acting it out consistently. Flaw. Waiting for the perfect moment or natural charisma to appear. Discipline. Deliberately projecting confidence until it becomes ingrained. Practical tip. Before every interaction, perform a 30-second pre-performance ritual. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and internally affirm your value. Olympic athletes use this technique to create peak mental states. Social magnetism is no different. Example: Oprah Winfrey famously rehearsed how she would enter rooms and greet people, fine-tuning her posture, smile, and energy. That habitual confidence made her presence unforgettable, not just a one-time effect. Exercise. Each morning, practice a confidence walk. Move through your space as if everyone around you is noticing you for the first time. Focus on posture, pace, and grounded energy. Repeat mantra. It's not about one perfect moment. It's about constant magnetism. 3. Presence is repeated, not spontaneous. Presence is often misunderstood as natural charisma or spontaneity. In reality, presence is a habit of deliberate attention and awareness. Flaw. Assuming presence is automatic. People may appear magnetic once, then disappear from memory. Discipline. Practicing sustained, subtle cues that communicate value, warmth, and alertness over time. Key behaviors that reinforce presence. Consistent eye contact, not staring, but showing awareness and connection. Controlled gestures. Deliberate hand movements signal authority and engagement. Active listening. Small verbal or nonverbal cues. Nodding, mirroring, leaning forward, signal attentiveness. Real-world example. Barack Obama is cited repeatedly for presence. Interviews and public appearances show a deliberate use of gestures, pauses, and attention cues that reinforce authority and charisma consistently, moment after moment. Exercise. In your next conversation, consciously mirror energy and posture for repeated interactions, not just the first encounter. Notice the difference in engagement. Repeat mantra. It's not about one perfect moment. It's about constant magnetism. 4. Integrating energy, voice, and story. By now, you've mastered body language, vocal tonality, micro-expressions, and narrative positioning. The next step is integration, making these elements automatic and habitual. Flaw. Compartmentalizing skills. People might use confident posture in one situation and weak vocal tone in another. Discipline. Weaving energy, voice, and story into a seamless, habitual presence. Practical method. The daily 5-minute magnetism routine. Stand in front of a mirror. Check posture and gestures. Speak your 30-second magnetic story aloud. Focus on tone, volume, and rhythm. Visualize one social interaction where you project consistent presence. This routine ensures that magnetism is not situational. It becomes second nature, like a trained performer or athlete. Example. Actors like Will Smith practice consistent routines daily to maintain presence on camera and stage. This isn't vanity. It's intentional habituation of perception, the same principle that makes social magnetism lasting. Exercise. Commit to this routine for 14 consecutive days. Record yourself weekly to track improvement. Repeat mantra. It's not about one perfect moment. It's about constant magnetism. 5. Micro-practices that multiply impact. Small daily actions compound into powerful social leverage. Magnetism is the sum of tiny, repeated behaviors over time. Micro-practice number 1, eye contact drill. Maintain engagement for 3 to 5 seconds longer than usual in conversations. Micro-practice number 2, energy calibration. Consciously adjust breathing and pace to project calm authority. Micro-practice number 3, story refinement. Update your 30-second magnetic introduction weekly based on feedback and observation. Repeated mantra. It's not about one perfect moment. It's about constant magnetism. These micro-practices ensure that each social encounter leaves an imprint on memory. People don't remember fleeting gestures. They remember reliability, confidence, and presence consistently delivered. 6. Social magnetism as a lifestyle. Ultimately, becoming unforgettable is a lifestyle, not a tactic. It requires deliberate attention to posture and gesture, maintain openness and authority daily, vocal tonality, speak clearly, pause deliberately, and modulate energy. Energy management, breathe, pace, and project calm confidence. Storytelling and social intelligence, frame experiences to signal value consistently. Flaw versus discipline summary. Flaw, treating charisma as a one-time skill, discipline. Embedding magnetism into daily behavior so it becomes habitual. Example, influencers, CEOs, and leaders who are remembered don't rely on charm alone. They cultivate persistent, consistent, and reinforced presence. People notice them because they habitually project the traits they want others to perceive. 7. Core lesson. Consistency compounds perception. Repeated micro-actions make you memorable. Confidence is habitual, not spontaneous. Act it daily until it's automatic. Presence is deliberate. Energy, body language, vocal tone, and story must be integrated and repeated. Your final mantra. It's not about one perfect moment. It's about constant magnetism. Live it, breathe it, and practice it daily. This is how you become the person people remember, admire, and seek out. Now you know the truth. Instant attraction is not magic. It's deliberate positioning. It's how you carry yourself, how you communicate non-verbally, how your energy, presence, and story combine into a force that others notice and remember. Every gesture, every pause, every choice of clothing, every word contributes to the perception you create. It's not about luck. It's not about changing who you are. It's about showing your best self, consistently, intentionally, and boldly. Today, you have the blueprint. Step into the world, own your space, project your energy, craft your story, and become the person everyone notices. The choice is yours. Will you be invisible, or will you be magnetic? Step forward, now.